Hello, thank you for checking out A1 Math, and today we're looking at linear equations and inequalities. First up is linear equations. We want to write a linear equation given 2 points. And the two things we're going to do first is take your slope formula and find the slope, and then use your slope-intercept formula to write the equation. Find B and then write the equation. So this is how it's done. So we're going to take our slope formula, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And we're going to plug that in from our 2 points. We've got two y's and two x's, and we plug those in. So we're going to have y2, which is 2, minus y1, which is 4, over x2, which is 0, minus x1, which is 1. Then we're going to find the difference between the two. We got 2 minus 4, and that's going to get you negative 2. And you got 0 minus 1, which will get you a negative 1. And then you divide that, and you'll end up with a positive 2. So our slope is 2. So we're halfway there. We just need to find the y-intercept. So in order to do that, we're going to take one of these points and plug it in to the equation here, and along with our slope, and find the missing value, which is b. So if I start off with y is equal to mx plus b, I plug in y. If I pick this first point here, y is 4, the slope is 2, and x is 1 plus b. So we're going to solve for b like it's the unknown, like it's x. So then we go ahead and work the algebra here. 2 times 1 is going to be 2. Then we subtract the 2 on both sides, and we realize that our b value is 2. Okay, so we have the two things that we need. We know our slope here is 2, and our y-intercept is 2 as well. And we're going to plug those in here and here into the equation. So we write that out, we end up with y is equal to our slope, 2x plus 2. And this will be our final answer. Okay, so next up, we'll go ahead and do another one here. Okay, so we'll use the same formula that we did before, y2 minus y1 to find over x2 minus x1 to find the slope. We're going to take the 3 and subtract it from negative 2. Oh, that's 3 minus negative 5. Okay, and notice how you have the negative from the negative 5 and the negative from the actual formula. And those two negatives are going to make a positive. Okay, then we have negative 5 minus negative 2. And again, those two negatives are going to make this positive. So now we have 3 plus 5, which is 8, over negative 5 plus 2, which is negative 3. So the slope is equal to negative 8 over 3. All right. So now I'm gonna go ahead and find the y-intercept by plugging into y equal mx plus b. So I'm gonna plug in one of my points here, take this -2 and -5, and for y, I put -5. For m, I'm plugging in the slope, -8/3. And for x, I'm plugging in -2. All right, now I'm going ahead and solve for b. I'm gonna bring down the -5, and that's gonna be equal to -16, oh, actually +16/3 plus b. Okay, there's two ways to do this. You could just subtract the 16/3 from the -5 and get your answer. Type it in the calculator, however you want to do it. Another way to do it is to eliminate the denominator, which is 3, by multiplying by 3 here. If I multiply every term in the equation by 3, that'll eliminate the denominator there. So 3 times -5 is -15. Okay, 3 times 16/3 is going to get me just 16. And 3 times b would be 3b. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is subtract 16 on both sides. And that's going to get me -31 equal to 3b. And once I divide by 3 here, cancel out, my b is equal to -31/3. So now I have everything I need to write my equation. I have my slope, which is -8/3. I'm going to plug that here. And I have my y-intercept, which is -31/3. I'm going to plug that there. So now I have y is equal to -8/3, x minus 31/3. And that's my equation. Okay. So you could pause the video here and then practice these other two problems. So this should be the answer for number 3 and 4 here. We should have y is equal to 1/5 x minus 1, and y is equal to -5/7 x plus 6/7. Okay, you just plug it into your formula, find your slope, use the slope to find your y-intercept, and then write out your formula. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we want to graph some linear inequalities. Okay, and what we want to do is get in that same form we just talked about, that y equals mx plus b. But we won't have equal, you're going to have the inequality, and we're going to use that to figure out how to graph it. So in order to get that, what we want to do is have the y be by itself. So we want to get that y term by itself. So I'm going to rewrite the equation here that's in standard form. Everything on this side, this 2x term, this -3y, well, the 2x term and the -3 that's multiplied against the y, I want to get to the right side. So to do that, you have to do the opposite of the operation. So I have this positive 2x. I'm going to subtract 2x from it to make this term go to 0 on my left side. On my right side, I'll have negative 2x minus 3. So here, these are not like terms, so they won't combine. So that's just going to leave my negative 2x minus 3. And on my left side, I have negative 3y. Okay, now what I'm going to do is go ahead and remove this multiplication, this negative 3y here. I'm going to divide by negative 3 so that turns into 1y, which is what I want. Okay, but remember, when you divide by a negative, you have to flip your inequality around. So that's going to make this y is greater than, and then negative divided by a negative is a positive, positive 2 over 3x. And then negative divided by negative is a positive, and 3 divided by 3 is 1. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and graph it. And the graphic, we're going to focus on those two things that we talked about previously. We're going to talk about the slope and the y-intercept. So we're going to begin with the y-intercept, and we'll go to 1 on the y-axis, which is right here. So that's my first point. And then with slope, what you want to do, and our slope is 2 over 3, we want to do rise over run. Okay, and if it's positive, go up, negative, go down for the rise. And then the run is positive to the right and negative to the left. So I'm going to rise 2. So I'm going up 2. But then I'm going to run to the right 3. And that's going to put my other point there. Okay, and I'm going to draw a line, a straight line between those 2 points and connect it through the graph here. But you got to take a look at your inequality. Our inequality here is not equal to. So when it's not equal to, this line is not included in the solution. So I'm going to make that a dash because it's not equal to. Now, the only thing left is to shade. So to shade, I'm going to shade greater than. So that means I'm going to shade above. And that's it. That's how you graph the inequality. Okay, let's do another one. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and rewrite my equation again. 7x minus 2y less than negative 10. Okay, again, I want to get the y by itself. So the first thing I'm going to do is do the opposite operation to this negative 7x. It's going to leave me a negative 7x minus 2y less than negative 10. Oh, mess that up. Let's fix that. That's going to leave me a negative 2y less than negative 7x minus 10. Okay, and now you're just going to divide this negative 2 here. And that's going to give us a y is greater than, because I'm going to switch my inequality around, 7 over 2x plus 5. All right, so now we're going to go to 5, and we're going to do our rise over run. We got 7 over 2 And we're going to rise 7 and run 2. There's only one problem with that. When we rise up 7, we'll be off the graph. So what we want to do is change this um, the slope, but keep it the same as what it is. So if I make the 7 negative and make the 2 negative, my slope is still positive. So I can still follow the rise over run and have the exact same slope. So what I'm gonna do is go down 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 at negative 2 there. And then I'm going to run 2 to the left. So that's going to be my point right here. Okay. Again, this is not an equal to, so we're going to use a dashed line. And not be the straightest. And since it's greater than, we're going to shade above again. Okay, so you could pause the video right here and see if you could do these. Okay, so here's 7 and 8. On both of these, I solved for y. Uh, got the inequality, got the y by itself. Make sure I check if I divide by a negative, you swap the inequality here. On both of these, they're not equal to. So keep that in mind. If you get one that says equal to, you have to have a solid line. Okay. So keep that in mind. But that's 7 and 8. Okay. And that is graphing inequalities. I want to thank you for checking out A1 Math. Have a nice day.